Welcome to Autumn Approved, a channel where we review all things that make parenting easier and also to see if my daughter Autumn approves. Automobiles. On today's episode, we review the much-awaited Gladly Family Anthem 2 wagon and do a few comparisons with the Veer and the Evenflo wagons. They all look very similar in aesthetic and have harnesses for two riders. First, measurements. The measurements of this seat are pretty standard. The depth of the footwell is 6 inches, which is 1 inch longer than the Veer and the Evenflo. It's 23 inches from seat butt to canopy height. The diameter of the rear wheel is 12 inches and the handlebar height when fully upright is 41.5 inches. The basket depth is as follows. It's very similar to the Evenflo basket and much smaller than the Veer basket. The brake mechanism is a foot pedal that you push down to engage and lift up with your foot to disengage, so it's not very flip-flop friendly. It comes with one parent cup holder and a parent console that can hold your phone, keys, small wallet, or sunglasses. One of the things that makes the Anthem 2 stand out from the rest is that you can zip close the canopies and your child can either nap inside the wagon or just have a nice private space. The canopies still have mesh sides, so it remains breathable even with the canopies zip closed. Another standard accessory that comes with it is the nap system, which can be stowed under the wagon when not in use. It is a padded structured mat that clips onto the wagon and slides over the seats to cover the footwell. This is convenient for naps on the go or changing a diaper. You cannot use the snack tray when this is on because it uses the same clips as the snack tray. Here are the measurements of the nap system when installed. As you can see, it is easy to remove and stow away when not in use. It comes with its own dust bag to keep it clean from the elements. To fold the wagon, you have to push on the buttons on the side of the wagon as shown here and push downward, and the seats will collapse. The basket clips on and off, but does not fold into the wagon, so if you need to stow it upright, you have to remove the basket first. If you can stow it in your trunk horizontally, you don't necessarily need to remove the basket. The canopies can remain on when folded, but if you have the snack tray attached, it has to be removed or the canopies will get in the way and the handlebar will not lock into place when you try to fold it down. This is a side-by-side of how it looks next to the Veer when folded, since it folds most similarly to the Veer. The Evenflo has a more awkward and stroller-like fold, so it won't really give you a great comparison side-by-side. The Veer is slightly slimmer when folded down, and even with the basket attached. The wheels are easy to remove by pushing on the silver buttons to release them so that you can get a slimmer fold. Even when the wheels are removed, it's still bulkier than the Veer when folded, but you can leave the canopies on the Anthem, and you have to remove the canopies for the Veer. The Anthem 2 fits on one side of our Honda Odyssey with all 3 rows up, but remember you cannot stow it upright without removing the clip-on basket first. Closing it takes some getting used to as you have to ensure that you are engaging the buttons correctly. My husband did say that having the handles on the sides were very convenient for loading and unloading in the trunk. So now we test the terrains. Firstly, because the footwell depth is a little deeper on the Anthem 2 versus the Veer and Evenflo, I wanted to check curb hoppability. And let me tell you, it is curb hoppable. It really surprised me with how easy it pushed. The push is much smoother than the Veer and Evenflo. On the bumpy grass was a breeze pushing and pulling, and even on soft sand I wasn't struggling to push it through. That was especially refreshing considering there are no wagons that I've tried that did that well on soft sand. Even on the small to medium river rocks, it pushed just as easily as it pulls. Even with my sciatica acting up, I didn't have any trouble pushing this through the most rugged terrains. I made sure my husband did a close-up on how well it just went through this uneven ground without me having to struggle to get it over that little mini curb. Overall, the Anthem 2 really surprised me at how well it performed compared to the Veer and Evenflo. Although their aesthetic is similar, The Anthem really outperformed both. At the base price of $499, it is really the happy medium of the two. It is much heavier than both the Veer and Evenflo, weighing in at 37 pounds, but the convenient handles on the side of the wagon make it easier to load and unload into the car. A few things I'm not a fan of on the Anthem is that the mechanism to clip on the snack tray and nap system is not as intuitive as the Veer or Evenflo, but at least it's still included in the base price. I don't like that the basket doesn't fold into the wagon when folded, and it seems cumbersome to have to unclip it each time that I have to stow the wagon into the van. You will get more space in the Veer for taller children, as the seat to canopy height on the Veer is 25 inches versus the Anthem 2's 23 inches. Things I like about the Anthem 2: it can take up to 50 pounds per seat but has a max weight of 150 pounds in the wagon itself. Now that the wagon prices have gone up, the Veer is now a base price of $649, and that doesn't even include the canopy or baskets, and the Evenflo is a base price of $369. The Anthem comes standard with the nap system and canopies, snack tray and basket just like the Evenflo, and has two 3-point harnesses. With the Veer, you have to purchase extra accessories like the basket and canopies, and the rear wheels on the Anthem are larger than both the Veer and Evenflo, so it really goes over the different terrains well. Overall, to get the most bang for your buck, the Anthem 2 covers those bases. It performed really well on different terrains and has a higher weight limit than the Veer or Evenflo. Hopefully this review and comparison was helpful for you to choose the right wagon for your family. I've left a link for the Veer versus Evenflo comparison down in the description box below to remind you of how those two wagons performed on different terrains. Until next time!